You probably remember it, or at least you remember the feeling. The year was 2012. A video dropped on YouTube, and overnight the whole world wanted to stop a warlord they'd never heard of before. Joseph Kony. It wasn't just a documentary, it was a movement, or at least that's what it felt like. Everyone shared it. Celebrities, politicians, your friends. The internet had never agreed on something so fast. For a few weeks, it felt like hope went viral. You were told that all it took was awareness, a share, a hashtag, a bracelet, and suddenly you were part of something global. And that's where things quietly shifted. Because Kony 2012 wasn't just about activism. It was the first time charity got packaged like content. The first time the world saw what happens when empathy meets marketing. You didn't have to sit through a gala or read a mission statement anymore. You just had to click. And that click made you feel like you did something. It was quick, easy, and, most of all, public. You didn't have to be the change. You just had to look like you cared. What started as compassion slowly became performance. People didn't just share the cause, they shared themselves through it. Screenshots of donations, status updates about making a difference. The act of giving became a part of identity. And you can't really blame anyone for it. It was the culture forming in real time. The internet was still new at being emotional. Nobody realized that visibility and virtue were about to get intertwined. But here's the part that hit after the hype faded. Kony 2012 made people start questioning where their money really went. The campaign raised over $30 million. But when people saw that the warlord was still free and the founder's behavior got messy, trust in nonprofits took a hit that still hasn't healed. Suddenly, charity wasn't about the cause, it was about accountability. People wanted receipts, transparency, proof. Because when emotion goes viral, so does disappointment. And maybe that's the real legacy of Kony 2012. Not the movement itself, but what came after. Now every organization is forced to think like a brand. Every cause has to go viral to survive. You can't just do good, you have to market good. There's a whole generation that gives with caution now because they learned that sincerity can be monetized. And yet, you can't ignore how that video made people feel. For a moment, it made the world believe that collective attention could change something real. It made people who never cared suddenly care, even just for a week. Maybe that's the irony. It proved that people want to help, but they want to be seen helping too. And in that need to be seen, charity lost a bit of its quiet power. You scroll now and you see it everywhere. GoFundMe links, disaster relief hashtags, link in bio campaigns. And deep down you wonder how much of it is genuine. How much is empathy and how much is just optics, attention-seeking. Because after Kony 2012, you stopped trusting emotion online the same way. You learned that 1 million views doesn't always equal $1 million spent right, and that good intentions can still be packaged, sold, and forgotten by next week. But here's the thing. That doesn't mean you should stop caring. It just means you care smarter now. You read the fine print, you give quietly, you ask questions before you click. Because real change isn't viral, it's consistent. So yeah, Kony 2012 changed the world. Not the way it wanted to, but in a way that forced everyone to grow up a little. It taught you that awareness without action is just noise. Let's run that back. It taught you that awareness without action is just noise. That good hearts can still be used for profit. And sometimes the loudest movements leave the quietest scars. Now, you don't donate for the retweet. You don't need a hashtag to feel like you helped. You just want to know your help matters. And maybe that's the real revolution. Not going viral, but staying genuine.